tier 0 branded deck profile. Best deck in the game? Let's see. I gotta say, I think it is. So we're gonna do the hard starters. These are the self-explanatory ones. Triple Branded Fusion, Triple Allure, Triple Opening, Sark, Foolish, right? These are the ways you get into all of your key plays, right? This is literally the best part of the deck. The engine, the alpha and the omega, all that stuff. Then you go into the supplemental engine, right? These cards are still starters. Your fusion deployments and your 2 Cartesias. You run that because she can still play through Ash. She can unbrick your hand. She can do a lot. I mean, just her and a tragedy can, you know, get you full combo just because she's that busted, right? And then you get into the pseudo starters. They're really good starters, but they're not as good as these. Albion, you know how it is. You dump whatever retribution and you'll draw Branded Fusion 99% of the time. That's why Albion is the best card in the game. Double Nadir Servant. It's a pseudo playthrough Ash, pseudo starter card, right? So it's the last thing you do because it locks you from extra deck, but once you do it, you're golden, right? You have Maximus dump whatever, go infinite. That's the way the card works. It's pretty broken. And then the Guiding Quem, you need at least one. I know it's expensive. If you guys are interested, I can put a competitive budget branded deck profile on here. Just comment down below saying, hey, give us the budget branded list. Give us the budget branded list. I'll pop it down, and then you guys can get that work even without the $60 card in Guiding Quem. Right, so these are the starters. You're gonna open up starters all the time, like no one's business. Then we go to the non-bricks but engine requirements, right, that you run to make the build optimal. 1 branded in red, 1 lost, 1 retribution. You need to run these. These are really nice. They're not garnets. Sometimes when you draw them, it's like busted. But the problem is you don't want to run multiples because drawing a second, like 2 retributions would just be dead, or drawing just 1 retribution is bad. You want this to be searchable, sendable, blah blah blah. Branded lost is fine to search, but if you opened up 2, you'd lose. Branded in red also, so not the not the best. You don't want to run too many of these. These are the perfect ratios. Don't run more, don't run less. Then we run Triple Fallen of Albaz. These are the engine requirement. He's not a garnet, he's not a brick, he does so much for you. He's pretty much the heart and soul of the deck, right? So you send him to the graveyard, reborn him with Rimbrum, summon him in the end phase, fuse away at your opponent's board, fusion deployment him. The whole deck is revolving around him, run 3. And then you go to the one-ofs, the 1 Lubellion and the 1 Saronir. These are the Bestials you run. In the 60 card variant you run more, but in this variant you just run these 2. The Tragedy, very good card, gets you your search. It's what you can use off of Foolish Burial and Gold Sark to plus, and to get your engine rolling. Adlib, great one-of. It can be cut, but I don't like cutting it because once you send it to the graveyard, if you don't want to go down the Gimmick Puppet Lock type of way, you can use this to summon your Mirror Jade like 10 times, and you get like 3 banishes off 1 monster. 1 Mercurier, you can search this a lot of times in your combo before you can get nibbed, other stuff like that. Very powerful, would not cut. And then 1 Dark Magician, 1 Gimmick Puppet, proxied here, but you know, bear with me. I didn't run it until this format. I'm gonna run it because this deck is tier 0, and this thing gives you 5% additional win percentage, right? The win percentage of brand is like 50-some%. You add this, you can actually approach 60% win percentage with this deck with the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. And then the last brick is Maximus. You run him because he lets you dump 2 cards, he lets you start your engine, he lets you play through Ash. He's nice, but you will draw him more than you draw Nadir Servant. That's how that works. The power of the one-ups, baby. And then we'll get to the non-engine of the deck, right? You run triple Called by the Grave, right? I'm gonna basically reveal that I'm running the Ash, right? We'll put these 2 Ashes here. I run 2 Ash because if you run 3, you will see 2 somehow every single time, right? And it's a hard once per turn. I don't want to see multiples. I also don't want to be caught with Crossout and Ash in my hand. I know it's like 3% chance of happening, but it happens. I'd rather not. I'd rather have an Ash in the deck so I can play. After that, triple Dark Ruler no more. and triple super poly. These are your board breakers in this format. A lot of people say hand traps are better than board breakers. That could be the case, but in this deck, with such minimal amount of non-engine available, you want to run as impactful of cards as possible, such as your super polys and your dark rulers, because those cards let you break boards, let you dunk on your opponent, let you, rub your nuts on their face, and having just a weenie little Ash and like imperm combo, that doesn't do anything. Most decks just play through that like nothing. Like the only two hand traps that have any impact in this format are nib Ash, nib imperm, nib effect veil. You gotta have nib with something else for that to be broken. And then the last one is infinite impermanence. Instead of having the third Ash, I ran the one imperm, because then you can cross out the imperms if your Luber would lose to the imperm and you don't have Cartesia accessible. That's 46 cards for the main. I wouldn't cut any less, because after that you're getting a worse product overall. Your deck is objectively worse. So let's go to the extra deck, right? Mirror Jade at 2. You don't want to cut any less, right? You can actually recycle one for the other once he's been banished or in the graveyard or whatever. He's very nice. You do not want to cut him. He's heart and soul of the entire deck, along with Albaz. 2 Albion, right? You can recycle him. Retribution can put him back, all sorts of stuff. You just want to have 2 in circulation, because a lot of times you will do 2. If you could run 3, you would, but the problem is there's not enough space, so we run 2. You run 1 Lubellion. Lubellion's nice. He is the card that lets you play through shifter boards, right? They shifter you. You do Lubellion by pitching Dark Magician and Fawn of Albaz to the graveyard, return them to the deck to summon a Dark Dragoon. Dragoon is the card that carries you through those crap matchups of shifter. Shifter decks can OTK you, especially through Dark Dragoon. Dark Dragoon just carries. Lubellion is a must for that, and other stuff. He's kind of like puts an engine back and whatnot. The honorary Fawn of Albaz card, Grand Yugioh. This card can single-handedly get you going. It's a interrupt in a way. Just a very good card when you brick. But even when you don't break, it's just a good card in all instances, right? You want to run even more, but the problem is his extra deck's so tight. Titaniclad. He is nice. He's probably the best non-Lubellion Albion Mirror Jade, right? He's the best Fawn of Albaz fusion, because he can summon Quem from the deck by sending off of Mirror Jade or sending off of Nadir Servant. Rinbrum, right? During your opponent's turn, you can banish him from the graveyard to special summon Fawn of Albaz and fuse at any moment, right? So it makes it another interrupt, right? You can go interrupt by Fawn of Albazing your opponent's monster, super polying it away, summoning Mirror Jade, banish another card. So this card can become 2 interrupts with the right setup. Albion, he's here for the Gimmick Puppet lock. He's really not that great if you didn't have Gimmick Puppet, so self-explanatory. And then the 2 Despian monsters, right? Lulu and Queritus. A lot of people have cut Queritus. I would not. He basically makes you unkillable by battle, right? And if they remove him from the field, guess what? Albaz, fuse, Aluber, search, whatever I want, I get. Lulu Lilith, broken. She summons either your Cartesia or your Quem from the deck at the end phase. A lot of times you send her off Nadir, but sometimes you will summon her off of the Darth Dragon. And then the 2 broken cards, Chimera and Dragoon. Chimera lets you get plus a million. Dragoon helps you just FTK certain matchups. And then the 2 super poly targets, also Nadir target, Garura, you can send off of the Nadir, draw card, go infinite. But also super poly, fuse into these 2, just broken, right? Now we get to the side deck, right? Side deck is personal preference. Whatever format you're playing in, you're going to want to kind of gauge for that particular local, regional scene, whatever. For the most part, this will be your cover everything, right? Your triple draw, right? You need for the FTK decks. When you're going second, I know I said hand traps aren't that impactful, but this hand trap can single-handedly carry against so many decks that you do want to run it. It's a hand trap that is a floodgate in its own. It's not like your simple Imperm Ash, whatever. Speaking of which, the 2 other Imperm and the 1 other Ash, in the certain matchups like Labrynth, the Mirror, whatever, you side the 3rd Ash in. In certain matchups like Purely, where Infinite Impermanence carries, you throw that in. I don't like them in the main because the deck does not have enough side deck engine space, so you can like side engine space, right? Tech card option space. So you run these in the side for the correct matchup when it comes up. And then the broken Pankratops, Harpy's Feather Duster combo. This is essentially the third Pank, I guess. Pank is able to break your opponent's boards. It can run over a card, pop a card, and what you can do is you can summon it, going second, make your Brand of Fusion plays. So like if you activate Brand of Fusion and they chain anti-spell, Pank, pop, right? And you're good, you're ready to play, you go through everything. Harpy's Feather Duster is worse in that capacity, right? So you might want to switch this out for a Cosmic. But currently it's just so powerful that it just wipes away so many back rows that the only time it comes up where it's bad is against the anti-spell matchup. But it does require further testing. The format's still young, so Harpy's Feather Duster might not stay in the side. And then we go to Triple Forbidden Droplets. In some matchups, Super Poly and Dark Ruler are not good, right? Or one or the other, right? So you would, theoretically, you could have 9, 3 Droplet, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Super Poly, or you could have the Forbidden Droplet get sided in for the Super Poly and the Dark Ruler, right? One of them. So you could have 3 Droplet, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Droplet, 3 Super Poly, right? Any combination of those cards you have, this is why you run this. Droplets is inherently worse because after you're fusing so much, you just lose cards. But having the 3 Droplets in the side helps you going into those certain matchups where Droplets carries. You can still, send your Aluber that you normal summoned, right? If you go Aluber, they chain Imperm, you can Forbidden Droplets, negate something on their board, and get your search. So Droplets is very nice for that reason. And if you're going first, you can still side it in because you can send something nonchalant off your board, such as Yugioh or whatever, and you're going to be able to, FTK your opponent, bro. And then the 2 cards off of Lubellion that you can side in. Beast is really nice for certain matchups where you have to pop, like, maybe not anti-spell, right? Because it would be really hard to get into that situation where like you have a Beast live through an anti-spell. Like that just doesn't happen. But Beast can pop a lot of annoying different things on the board that is just hard to out, and it's just like a free interrupt, right? And then Etude, against certain decks, Etude is just an FTK. So run the Etude. I've played it against Dragon Link, and it hard carries. They just don't have enough resources to play through your board and lose all their graveyard. And then the 15th card is Masquerade, right? Tax Dragon, you run this because you say, hey, it's time, I win, right? So good luck. Can you beat me in 13 effects through my board? Doubt, right? So that's the deck. Tier 0 branded, let's go. Gonna be playing this deck pretty much the whole format and gonna be cooking everybody. So thanks for tuning in. If you like this profile, like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and if you'd really like to see that budget branded list, please let me know, because I have it cooked up. It's gonna be broken. It's gonna be for this format, and it might not be tier 0, but it'll be tier 0.5, which is like almost tier 0, bro. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.